How stacked is the Seattle Kraken Prospect Pool? Plus, let's hear from some of our prospects at development camp.
You are Locked On Kraken, your daily podcast on the Seattle Kraken, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, what do you say, Seattle hockey fans? Welcome to another episode of Locked On Kraken, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. We bring you your favorite team every single day. Your host, Erica L. Ayala, coming to you live from the Media Center here at the Paris Olympics. So we got another trip here for you, and so that's why we're going to go once again to Locked On NHL Prospects to give us a taste of what we can expect in our prospect pool. They've been doing a great job kind of ranking the most recent draft class, but then also talking about some of the prospects. So we're going to lean on them a little bit while I get everything sorted. We're trying to get our opening ceremony tickets today, so I gotta make sure I'm here for that, but I didn't want to miss out on an opportunity to talk some more Kraken hockey with you, or at least to analyze what people are saying. I do think we have a pretty stacked draft class, but we actually have Sebastian from Locked On NHL Prospects, our show on the Locked On Podcast Network, to break things down. I'm going to play you one of those segments, and then we're going to hear from Edward Ayala, we're going to hear from Carson Rehkopf, and of course Berkly Catton a little bit later on the episode. Today's episode, I want to let you know, is brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. Make every moment more, as the playoffs, we know, have already wound down for hockey. There's so many other things, including the Olympics. Check out those odds for the gold medal games in women's basketball. USA at the top, but Australia, France, maybe Spain. Take a look at those. And remember that FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or bonus daily. That's right. There's something for everyone every day, all summer long. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. And without further ado, let me take you over to the Locked On NHL Prospects segment on the draft class, 2024 draft class for our Seattle Kraken.
It felt good to kind of get out on the ice and just, play hockey with all this, extra stuff going on. It was nice to just kind of simple it down and do the thing I love. Yeah, no. Well, Pricer lives down the street from me, so I talked to him a lot, and then kind of through Keiko, he's said nothing but good things about this, and obviously talking to Pricer a lot. Just said how nice the facilities are, and everything's lived up to how he's been talking about it. So it's been really fun. Yeah, it was great. It's been a while, honestly, with the whole draft thing and flying and whatever, but kind of got the rust off at the start, I think, and then it felt pretty good at the end. Oh, he's awesome. He really, skill and compete is really emphasized with him, and you could tell by practice today there was a lot of that, and that kind of filters into my game as well, so it works out good. I kind of go back to the people. I think it's professionally ran by good people, and when you have a whole bunch of good people around you, it's ultimately gonna make you a better player in person, and kind of give them credit in that sense, and I think that's pushed me to where I am today. Yeah, there's a sense of comfort there, I think, always being here and stuff, and obviously getting to play in the Climate Pledge. We were in a closet with our room, and it was still the biggest room I've ever seen, so that just kind of goes to show how big and nice that facility is, so that was really cool. But yeah, it's awesome kind of playing around here and getting a comfort that way. Yeah, the Climate Pledge game would probably be the most I've really experienced it, kind of getting to go through downtown a little bit, but we're in kind of Kent with the Thunderbirds, so that's a little bit further away, I guess. But no, I haven't really actually seen the city too much, but we got to go, kind of golfing yesterday and getting to see a little bit of the neighborhoods and stuff. It was pretty cool.
Berkly, building off talking about Seattle, are you nervous at all for your first pitch tonight at the Mariners game?
Yeah, I kind of forgot about it until I got off, and I'm like, oh God, hopefully they have a bullpen for me or something to warm up.
They've got a space for you.
Okay, good, yeah, then I'm going to need that area. Well, I mean, this is honestly pretty, considering I play in Spokane and my family's always down in Spokane, this isn't too much further really, so no, they were extremely happy, and friends, family. There are lots there and lots texting me, and everyone's just so excited. And I think lots of my family and friends already have Seattle merch, so that's good. Even in like the American division in the Western League, it seems like there's lots of guys I'm always recognizing and stuff. And getting to play against them is one thing, and then getting to kind of meet them as a person's another. And that's been a really cool experience so far. So even playing them in future years to come, it'll be kind of cool. And obviously, hopefully, be on the same team one day together. Yeah, I'm in Saskatoon the whole summer, same with Pricer, and so we have a good group down there actually, and kind of all train together and then work out. So it works out well. Yeah, so I just kind of stick around Saskatoon. Yeah, I think just my smarts and my skill. I think I'm able to make plays because of my brain, but I also have a very strong skill set to allow me to do that. So I think when I have the puck, I have the ability to change the momentum of game and set up a guy, but also have that scoring touch as well. So I just think I'm a offensive guy that likes to push the pace of a game. You just you look at obviously my goal is to play in the NHL as soon as possible, and looking at those guys, they're developed lower body with legs and stuff. So that's definitely one thing I want to improve on. Just getting a little bit bigger, stronger. Then probably just the defensive side a little bit. If you want to be trusted in the NHL, you have to be good defensively. So probably those two things.
Today's episode of Locked On Kraken, once again brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. Now, we know it is summertime, but that doesn't mean that the sports stop. I'm at arguably the biggest sporting tournament ever across multiple sports here at the Summer Olympics. We also, of course, have WNBA that will kick up again in a month, NWSL. And as I said earlier, FanDuel has something for every sports fan. That's right, all customers will get a boost or a bonus daily. Something for everyone, every day, all summer long. So head over to FanDuel.com and start making the most of your summer. FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. Remember to head over to FanDuel, check out those odds. Again, USA women's basketball going for an 8th consecutive gold medal, but who will they face? FanDuel odds are pretty interesting. France is up there. Australia, Lauren Jackson is back, so there you go. But remember, FanDuel.com. Start making the most out of your summer. And FanDuel is the official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball and us here at the Locked On Podcast Network. All right, you heard from our experts over at Locked On NHL Prospects. Got A marks for our draft class. Now, I wanted a defenseman at that 8 spot, but Berkly Catton, I think, brings a lot of things. I do think it is going to be interesting to see if he remains a centerman, because that's where he was drafted right now, and that can be tough. We've heard the guys over at Locked On NHL Prospects talk about that before, and either way, though, there's definitely some growth, some development. He talked about getting his frame, particularly his legs, a little bit stronger, but he's familiar with the area, already seems to really be acclimated, or at least enjoys media more than some other, even NHLers, to be honest. So I think it's going to be interesting to see him develop. But we also know that there have been some other players that have been rising in the ranks, and we're actually going to hear later in the week how Locked On NHL Prospects feels about some of these guys, including, we've talked about Edward Shala, we've talked about Carson Rehkopf. So I'm actually going to send you over. You can hear a little bit from both of them on today's episode. Let's start with Carson.
It's awesome. Yeah, it's always nice coming here, obviously the facilities and the resources, so it's a great week to soak stuff in. Yeah, I think obviously going in the year, I think after you have to play with the chip on your shoulder a little bit, and I think I had goals set in mind, stuff like World Juniors, and going into Kitch, everyone kind of counted us out, and I knew we had a good team, so I wanted to do my best to make that happen, and I thought we had a really good year. Awesome. I got really close to those guys. We got a really close prospect group here, so it was awesome to see those guys do well. Obviously playing against Goisy and talking to Ferk all year, it was really close to see everyone do well. Yeah, I know it's tough. Like we had a pass year on our team, and I think coming from Europe, it's tough. The ice is smaller, stuff like that. So I think just trying to do whatever I could to help him. Obviously, he was a good addition to our team and helped us. So it was super special. It's something I set my mind to at the start of the year. Obviously, it's kind of tough as a underage guy, but I just try to give them no reason not to take me. So I did my best, and it was super special. Obviously, not the result, but it was super special to go over there and compete for my country.
You played a little different role. How was that adjustment?
Yeah, I think it's something I've done before. I think I can think something about my game that a lot of people don't really know. I can play up and down the lineup. I can play a heavy game, or I can play a skill game. So I think just trying to doing that to my best ability was good for me. Yeah, I think for me it's my consistency. Like I think just trying to bring it every night, trying to be the best player on the ice every night. I think I got the ability to do that, and it's kind of up to me at the point. And I think obviously my two-way game, stuff like that, I really worked on this year, just trying to get my game pro ready. Yeah, I spend my summer at SAC with Gary, so it's been great. I've been there for almost a month now, so just continue to do that and get ready for training camp.
No downtime?
No, not really.
You spent some time down in Coachella, right?
Yeah, I was there for I think a month and a bit. So
what'd you take away from being down there, being around Dan, who's obviously going to be the head coach here now full time, and kind of that whole experience?
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, obviously they're at a special team. It was nice to kind of soak in from those older guys. They were great to us, really talked to us, and kind of showed us what it's like to be in the position they are. So obviously Dan's staff was great energy, and they really helped us and it made us feel welcome. Obviously it's kind of weird coming in the middle of playoffs, but it was awesome. It's not bad weather training down there, so it was.
Did you bring your clubs?
No, but they treat the Firebirds real well down there, so you don't got to worry about any of that. Yeah, I think he's kind of a perfect mix of a coach. Like, I think he's great with his players, brings a lot of energy. There's no shortage of that. So I think he's a really detailed coach. Obviously he has resume, so I think he's been great to me from the time I've known him. So I'm super excited for that. Yeah, I think my offensive game is a big thing. I think my shot's something I've worked on my whole life, and my instincts in the O-zone. So I think just trying to bring that to the table with a heavy style of my game, I think is a good mix for sure.
Yeah. Okay. See, I'm gonna quote you. Better be right.
And what really stood out to me from Carson is, to me, he sounds like a leader. And we talked about Edward Shala a little bit, and we're going to hear from him in a little bit, but he had a little bit of difficulty. I'm saying a little bit, a lot. He had difficulty acclimating, and he'll reemphasize that. And Carson was someone that he was able to rely on. I think even just listening to how Carson was talking during these are all interviews, by the way, from development camp. I think he had a lot of really great qualities, and he seems to really have a good knack and understanding for Dan Bilesma. Now, he mentioned that he was with Coachella Valley for a little bit, but we talked about that on a previous episode. That was more so for his development than anything else. He could be a player that we're looking to get one of those spots for Coachella Valley, because we're expecting that not only Ty Cartier, but likely Riker Evans and perhaps Shane Wright as well will be with the big clubs. So that could open up some space for someone like Carson, someone like Jagger Firkus. So we'll have to see how that goes. But again, I've really been impressed by what he was able to do on the leadership side. And one of the beneficiaries of that, of course, was Edward Shala. Let's hear from him.
Yeah, it was tough for me along the way, for my long distance for my family. First time in America, so yeah, tough 3 months, and after it was better for sure. Everything like the guys in the locker room and around hockey, everything. So yeah, it was tough first 3-4 months, but after it was better.
You obviously had the trade mid-season. How was that to kind of adjust to as well, to move to a different team and getting a chance to feel your way out there? I mean, at least you had Carson with you there to maybe help a little bit.
Oh yeah, helped me a little bit, but it was tough. I went to the first team, and the first 9 games we lost, so it was a tough start for me again. So yeah, it was not easy, but yeah, after it was everything well, and I was happy. Yeah, probably skating, everything I need to improve, but mostly maybe some competitive on the ice, just like show people I can compete more. That's maybe the biggest one, but yeah, I think so. I need to improve everything.
How big was the adjustment dealing with the smaller rinks and coming over? How big of an adjustment is that to make?
Not that big. I think hockey is just a game, so I just play hockey, so that's it.
Edward, I noticed that your language has gotten a lot better from last year. How have you been practicing your English?
I don't know. It's tough. It's probably when I was in a Kitchener or Barrie, I speak only English, so that's maybe why.
Edward saying that, hey, when you immerse yourself in a language, oftentimes that's how you get more comfortable speaking it. I certainly wish I had paid more attention to that interview before coming to Paris, France. But jokes aside, I really like what we have with our prospects pool. I am getting to know the prospects that were drafted this year a little bit better, and a great resource once again is Locked On NHL Prospects. So for the remainder of the week, as I get ready here in Paris for the opening ceremony and then the start of the especially basketball tournaments, I'm going to really lean on NHL Prospects and give you some analysis from what they're putting out. If you haven't checked out our episode prior where they really break things down about Berkly Catton, we again thought maybe we were going to see a different pick. But either way, I have to highly recommend Locked On NHL Prospects. They know what they're talking about. And I too am interested to see if Catton is going to be someone that remains a winger, or remains a center, or if he switches to wing. I think that really matters on what will really matter, I should say, is how he's able to deal with the physicality at the pro level. Being a little small or undersized, not the end of the world, but it's just a matter of how his game develops. And if he can play a big game, that is going to go far. But I also like, of course, that he was talking about what he wants to do on the defensive end. Edward Ayala comes in a little bit taller at least, and I think he still has to get acclimated to the physicality of North American pro hockey. But now that he's feeling a little more comfortable, perhaps has been able to, I don't know if he get over the homesickness, but I think he knows what to expect a little bit more. I'm curious to see if that will open up his game. And of course, Carson, I think I'm really looking to see what he's able to do, expecting that he will be with the Firebirds. But I think we've got a leader in the midst. We've got a leader in Rehkopf, and so I'm super excited to see how he develops. All right, let's see if I can get these opening ceremony tickets. If you want to know what I'm doing here in Paris, other than talking about the Seattle Kraken and their prospects, then make sure you follow Black Rosie Media. I'll also, of course, be doing some stuff for CBS Sports. As always, be kind to yourselves, be kind to one another, hold fast, stay true, loud and proud we say, as always, let's go Kraken. I'll catch you on the next episode. Peace out, everybody.